Hello, and welcome to Boot Camp Unit 10B, Factoring Monomials. Monomials are the building blocks of things that we're going to be building later called polynomials, and so we really need to try to get to the basics and understand what they really need to make them tick. Before getting to monomials, we need to talk about factors of numbers. Now, these are the divisibility rules from a few modules ago, and we'll need them when we're breaking down numbers. Say we have to play with a 4. Well, we need to know that 2 and 2 go into 4, and really nothing else. How about 32? What about 64? What goes into those? When we're talking about variables, it's often better just to write them out and play with them from there. So if you look here, we have x cubed y to the 4th. So we have 3 x's, x, 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 and we have 4 y's, y, 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 and y. So one thing we could do is we can pull out 2 x's and 2 y's. What haven't we played with yet? We haven't played with 1 x and 2 y's. They kind of just get to stick around. Now this is a binomial because it has 2 terms, but as we do this, we're working with 2 monomials. And the reason why we start with this is it allows you to get more specific before getting vague here in a moment. If we look at these 2 terms, what do they both have in common? They both have a 2, as 4 is 2 times 2. They both have an x, and they both have a y. If we pull that out, what's left on the first term? Just an x. The 2 is accounted for and the y is accounted for, but one of the 2 x's is not. On the second term, we have 2 times 2, so we have a 2 unaccounted for. The x is, and one of the 2 y's is not accounted for. So why bother going through and figuring out with a binomial first? Because when we have a monomial like this, we can go a whole bunch of different ways. We can do 2x, we can pull out. What's still on play? Well, if we pull a 2 out of 8, we're left with 4. If we pull out one of the 2 x's, we have 1x still in play. What have we not touched? We haven't touched the y's at all in this example, and we haven't touched the z's at all in this example. On the next line down, you see a second option. Maybe we pull out 8xy. If we pull out the 8, well, the 8's accounted for. If we pull out one of the x's, we had 2, we pulled out 1, so 1's unaccounted for. And for the y, we had 6 y's. Pulling out 1, there are 5 that are unaccounted for. The z's we haven't touched at all. This kind of opens up a whole bucket of creativity. Maybe we pull out 3 z's. Maybe we pull out 5 y's. And really, which ones we want to pull out are going to depend on the application that we're using. It's all going to depend on your specific problem. That is Unit 10B, Factoring Monomials.